standing at a crossroads. That's my opinion. So I think that to your point, like how do you keep people here? How do you keep companies from leaving? You have to think long term, and how, you know, how do we make it special? How do we attract, you know, the millennials that are coming up? You know, who are they and what are they looking for? You know, and if we don't want any of that, then we're going to stay right where we are. And you know, as the saying goes, if you are standing still, you are dying.
But you bring up a point that was actually highlighted today in the Business Journal, and it was the top area codes for wealth in the triad. What was 1 and 2? Oak Ridge and Summerfield.
Yeah.
So if I'm a business, you know, I'm a marketing guy, so I think in the marketing way. If I'm a business and I want to go where people are going to spend money and have a community feel, I'm going to go somewhere where the more wealthy are. Obviously, when you see a report like that, you feel like your business is going to do well because the per capita is high. If there's regulations that keep me from going there, well then I'm going to go right across the border to where those wealthy people are going to cross that border and come in there. Maybe Oak Ridge, maybe Greensboro. So there's got to be a balance. How do you bring development that the people want, that fit within this comprehensive plan? It still has to fit within the comprehensive plan. I would never say that we shouldn't bring development that doesn't fit within this comprehensive plan. And that balance is a magic sauce that some communities have figured out and other communities haven't. And we're not there yet.
Well, how can you say that if we're number 1 and number 2, and that we haven't figured it
Well,
out?
I said we haven't figured out the development side yet to bring the amenities that people here like, instead of us going to Greensboro for everything. And I'm not saying we want a Walmart, and I'm not saying we want a Target. There's a balance.
There's a very, very good, and I'll put
I'm not saying we're failing, I'm just saying we're not there yet.
Yeah, and I mean, you're saying we don't want growth here, but I don't think it's true. I think we do want growth here, and the reason why we're doing this is we're trying to control our growth and have certain areas and certain look and certain appearances. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, community appearances, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make the appearance of our community, and that's why we set standards for what the buildings look like and all that kind of good stuff. So,
I'm 100% in favor of everything you're saying, but I've heard over and over again, we don't want any growth. So, and if you look at the community, I think it shows that we haven't had much growth. So I think, you know, actions really are speaking to what I'm saying.
I don't know, I mean, it depends on your reference of growth. I mean, not growth like Greensboro, no.
I'm not looking for growth like Greensboro.
Well, exactly, that's what I'm
But,
saying.
I
We're
mean,
so much
but
smaller.
I
So our
know-
growth is not going to be like that.
But I know that when I look at the Summerfield corridor, which is mentioned in the comp plan, which could be an absolutely adorable street if we would allow and encourage small businesses.
So you're talking about commercial growth, not residential growth?
You know, it's going to be both. I mean, and that's how you keep to your point, that's how you keep the small businesses here, because you're going to have residential growth as well. And residential growth has got to change. You can't keep looking the same. And so, you know, these are the hard questions that we've just got to start asking ourselves. And it can't just be no, 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 no. It's got to be, whoever said it, and I've heard it again, balance, 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 balance.
Summerfield's handicapped in a sense, right? Because of how it's grown up. And we don't, Summerfield does not have a Main Street area, like a Blowing Rock or.
Well, both of those comments, those segue into policy 10.
I know,
Right.
I know it does.
Yeah, so let's try to get through 8. How about let's revisit that, just finish this up. Because we just have the code enforcement and the junk car.
Yeah, real quick,
Out
wait
section.
till the end of all that. The parked car thing, I don't know if it's already in for Summerfield, but we could say no parked cars on any grass. And so that could at least force people to put it around the back. So if they're parking a bunch of junk cars in the front and that's unsightly, we could say you're parking on the grass, go around back and park them on the grass, and we won't mess with
Yeah.
it.
And they'll say we don't have grass, we got dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll kill the grass.
Dirt driveway, if it's on the driveway, that's a different kind of
Well,
thing.
So
they
then
don't
people are just
have-
going to
they
pay for the
don't
front
have
yard.
Right now, our
Dirt
ordinance
yard.
says that they have to be hidden from view, and apparently it's not being enforced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
that's the 2 sets of fences.
We're talking about
They have
ordinance
to
work,
fence
if
it.
it's not
That's
being
right.
enforced.
So
Ah.
we have to be careful with, because that's the way to get around.
Right now, we don't specify we just say hidden from view if they're a certain number, I think it's more than.
Is that the,
more than two.
Carrie, is that the same
That was-
property
got something on
that underwent some enforcement fines for a period of time? Is that same property
That we think,
that we're talking about?
facilitate.
With the cars?
I'm not sure if, I'm not talking about an individual property, I'm just saying
Oh, okay.
that,
Yeah, I'm not-
that
Okay.
apparently there's
Okay.
limits.
No,
There is
I heard people talking about parked cars in front that were junky, and I thought, but I don't know of any particular place.
Let's talk later, because I don't want to call any, I don't want to embarrass any
spot? All right.
particular property.
So is that it for?
Okay,
Do we want to say anything more to this?
okay, Beth, will you, just before we leave this one, will you read what we're doing for this abandoned and neglected
So
properties?
we have what's there, and then I
Research.
said we're gonna look at commercial and residential ordinances, neglected property ordinances, not ag, to not include ag or historical. We're gonna be concerned with the health, the welfare, and safety of these neglected properties. And the ordinance has to have teeth, and to remember it needs to balance with our other policies for commercial properties.
So can I,
Great.
one suggestion, can we, instead of saying not ag and not historical and giving them free exemption, can we say reduced restrictions on ag and historical?
That's a little bit better.
Because I don't know that they get a free pass.
Yeah.
That could be your recommendation, but again, it really needs to be
Again,
a.
it's not.
All of these are
It's our
just
It's just a
recommendations.
recommendation,
back.
yeah,
To
exactly.
them.
Everything's our recommendations.
That's
That's
so
what
it's
I was
just-
gonna say, it's nothing, it's not a, yeah.
Yeah, I just, right, I mean,
Okay.
if the ag's parked 400 cruddy tractors sitting there and it's like, yeah, we're an ag, oh well. Or we're all gonna go, I wish we had done something different.
Is that okay with everybody?
Todd, did you want to say anything about appearance standards as well? That was something that we mentioned.
No, I think we've already covered that in enough areas, so.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, we just, I think we've got junk vehicles,
Billboards,
billboards,
that's an easy one.
sorry, skipped over that.
No good.
Discuss policy 3.12 and 4.1.
Done.
Done.
Done
All
with
right.
that.
Can I ask a question about that?
Unlicensed vehicles. Yep.
Real quick on billboard, I know we've addressed billboards, and one thing that's come up in the news over the last month, I think since we met, is large flagpoles and flags along public interstates. Does our billboard ordinance cover that? Do we want to cover that? That that's not acceptable here, or should be allowed here, or we don't care?
Are they state or
hidden?
private?
Are they hidden?
They're on private
Yeah.
road within
Private
view of the interstate, right?
That big one
Is
on
what,
40?
mhm. Right, really big flag on 40, it's all been in the news over the last month,
Yeah.
and I just was thinking, man, if somebody even 1,000 feet back
You
on
know,
73 on the
Oh, I
right
just
hill,
don't
Right,
know
it's
what
right.
see it coming down
Can
73.
regulate flags.
Is it an American flag or just an advertising?
Confederate
No,
flag.
no.
Oh, it's a Confederate flag.
Yeah.
One in every county.
But we're talking about any
Oh,
flag
there's a
other than,
Confederate flag,
Yeah.
on 40 that's been in the news.
Right now, flags are exempt from those ordinances unless they carry a business message.
Okay, and that's the only thing I could find about flags, and I didn't spend a lot of time going back to it, but it was one of my thoughts that we should
I
maybe.
don't know if we can regulate Gilbert versus whatever town that was. I don't know if we can
I
regulate.
don't think,
Yeah.
honestly.
yeah.
But you could regulate height though.
Is there a certain size
That's what I
flag
was
that
about to say,
is
if we
kind
can
of like a
regulate
billboard?
height and size,
Yeah.
or are we,
That's,
I don't.
That's something we can do
even
some
know.
research on, I don't think we're gonna come up with an answer without some legal experts here.
And I've actually already got that, remember my note about a court case, Gilbert versus, it's the same, that will be the same research that I do for this.
Okay.
But then that one at Madison, the Chevy dealership, sure is nice to see that big
No,
American flag.
and
I
then-
think we could
God
get
bless
around
America.
it. I had a thought, I don't know for sure. But I think, don't you have to have a flag lit at night?
If it
If
hangs,
it's the US
if it's
flag.
American
it's just a
flag.
And
US.
if our dark sky, they can't have that.
You just take it
Can't
down.
have what in here?
I guess, yeah, we
But
would
who's
find
gonna
it.
go take it down every
Take
night?
it down at night.
Someone who really likes a Confederate flag.
That's an interesting
Is there
juxtaposition.
any tasks
of
for
a-
staff or recommendation around that, or?
Carrie's
I
gonna
think
be
she's
researching
got it.
flags.
Got it?
Okay.
I think she has it.
County and news, because they flag on 7s and 30.
Yeah,
That's a good
no,
point.
that's all we need.
Can you,
I mean,
can you
we have
check and
enough-
see if,
we
if
get
we're
enough
only
notoriety.
constrained by
Yes.
federal, federal or state flags versus flags that are not sanctioned, you know, by by free speech?
Is there such a thing? Right now, we just, well, I'll look into it, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
could I
that's
put
weird.
up a flag of like naked people to stand? Just like fly that out there?
I think you could, but there may be some consequences. for
Could
that.
Subway put up a Subway flag 40 feet in the air? I mean,
But I think that's
That's
where at least
advertisement, yeah.
Carrie had mentioned that because that's advertising business, that'd be
Can't
different.
do a business. So somebody could buy the flag.
Regulate those as a sign, basically that would fall in that sign category as a flag sign. Okay, we got the unlicensed vehicles issue, and I think Ryan already proposed some ideas there. Looks like from the earlier discussion, is there any sort of recommendation around, I guess, more teeth on that screening? Is that what I heard earlier, or am I making that up?
well, I just have the golf carts. I think you can get licensed golf carts in the state, correct?
You can buy them in Summerfield now.
If it's gonna be on
I mean, and ride them in neighborhoods, right?
Any road, if they're licensed street-worthy golf carts, there's a specific licensed golf cart that's manufactured for riding on anything under 35 miles an hour. And we can't prohibit it on a state road under 35 miles an hour.
But a
When it's
majority
not-
of the golf carts here are unlicensed, I
Oh,
would
it's
say.
Myrtle Beach style golf
Or
cart.
Yeah,
Hilton Head.
yeah. So, and I don't know if you're talking about the golf, this is a golf cart that is not licensed for the road, or are you talking about golf carts that are licensed for the road? I
Well,
would treat
it
the
says
ones that are-
unlicensed vehicles is what
Yeah.
that's what the
okay.
comp plan says. So a licensed golf cart would probably be exempt from
They're nice.
that.
Licensed golf cart.
Yeah,
So are you asking about an unlicensed golf cart in a community being able to be parked where it's visible?
No, I would call that an unlicensed vehicle, right? So it shouldn't be visible.
Okay.
I'm saying a licensed golf cart should be able to park wherever they want if they're licensed.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's licensed.
Progress.
getting something
It
in
can
our
park in the
future.
driveway. I mean, why
Is
not?
there anything else, does all this stuff make sense in terms of recommendation and green? We've got include unlicensed vehicles in the definition of vehicles, it must be a nuisance, apply to all zoning districts, what Andrew just talked about. And then review districts where auto wrecking is allowed to ensure it does not provide homeowners a loophole. This is along a comment about recommend auto wrecking use be removed or modified as it seems to allow a secondary or loophole method of retaining junk cars on properties.
so people have, and I've actually seen that happen before, where people have a bunch of junk cars and say, oh, I'm selling them. Oh, that gets through the section.
Just a time check, we have 25 minutes
Okay,
before public comment.
okay, all right, well, let's at least,
Time flies.
is there any, so this is not up for adoption tonight, we're gonna incorporate the comments, we're gonna adopt at a future meeting. Are there any further comments in this section or others before we leave it? Okay. So we'll incorporate all those changes that Beth has been graciously writing down, thank you.
Trying to.
Now,
Moving on to,
You'll be judged, you'll be judged.
10.
okay, now this should have everybody's comments.
Everybody have a copy of those in front of you? Carrie's pulling it up on the screen. Okay, so let me, just to introduce it, this is the Summerfield Road focus area. From the comp plan, desired future for this is the town core, limited commercial development of town core, install sidewalks in historical town core area, create a town core, and then historical town center place to go and reason to go there. And so those are some comments from the public around that, around this particular area. And if you recall, and I don't know if we have a comp plan available?
Yeah.
So there's some, this is where we got some limitations on the Summerfield Road focus area is, I forget the street, but it's, at least from the comp plan standpoint, it's only from the Auburn Road, is that right? North, so Auburn Road north, so just keep that in mind, it doesn't go any further south than that in terms of what the comp plan recommendations
Where does it
are for
stop
that.
on the north end? Just past the
It's
town
right
hall?
here.
There you go.
Flip off.
It goes up to Town Hall, that intersection itself. It refers to the area north of there, saying that it could be extended further north with public input from the neighbors in that area. It's a very specific statement in the policy area. And then, this is the historic district, and it goes from the school to Auburn, and then from Auburn down to 220.
The historic district goes all the way to the point?
It's actually, I wonder if this line should be further, it should be going up to Maderas. The northern boundary of the,
Of this?
A.
It only talks about this,
Mixed
southern.
use intersection.
Should go all the way to the point.
And then essential, okay, so it doesn't actually address anything between Maderas and, Centerfield Road.
Interesting.
I thought that was the section B.
He is the historic,
National.
the historic district.
Yeah.
No, A is just the intersection of,
Yeah, so I think I introduced that a little bit misleadingly, so, you know, Summerfield Road is the title of that section, but it does, in the comp plan, but you got these different areas, and so the balance of that area is not supposed to go south of Auburn according to this, so this is just the balance, so yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
that's what I'm
so
calling it out.
most of the recommendations are for that area.
yeah. We have a historic district that goes from the intersection down to Maderas. It covers both sides of the street there, this brown area.
And there's a few lots on Oak Ridge Road.
And if, thank you, through lots on Oak Ridge Road, you can see where, out this way. A is just, it's bigger than, it defines just the intersection, the node. C is a mixed-use area between the school and Auburn, right? And then the balance is to be policy area 1.
Right.
Or residential. And the commercial land use is policy area 1, and the rest is residential, so.
And that was the commitment to the homeowners, especially in the northern end, that would not be turned into business, correct? At some point.
Right, so how this is sort of, I'm sorry, John, I'm not sure if you're finished with your statement, but for policy 10.1, which is our first in our list to look at it, it's introduced that various sections of Summerfield Road should be treated according to their unique characteristics. Policies and related ordinances should respect and reinforce the natural leanings of each road section. So thinking about it not as sort of one long continuous corridor, but look at those unique characteristics. And then specifically following, and then breaks down some recommendations for each of these areas. Do you want me to read through those, or you just kind of want to jump into the list here? Okay. Yeah, I saw Andrew shaking his head, so we'll jump in. Okay, so we've got 10.1 first. So this is getting a little wonky looking at some of the kind of the setback tables and dimensional tables in the draft UDO, at least in this first area. So let's just kind of start at the top.
Well, there are so many comments about,
You want to just start with the recommendation and then
That's
see if we
typically-
need to jump in any comments, so.
it's typically, and to ask, does this recommendation address everybody's comments?
Okay.
because there is no overlay district in the current draft ordinance for Summerfield Road.
Right, so, yeah.
So it seems like that most of the comments are leaning toward creating that district with these goals.
Yeah, so the goals would include cohesive zoning for commercial and residential together, village-style design, integrate historic district, allow mixed use, aesthetics, and safety, achieve this through intensity of use, dimensional standards, which are lot size setbacks, building size and height, architecture, lighting, operational standards such as business hours, performance standards, signage, parking, landscaping, hardscape, fixtures, and furniture. Does that resonate in terms of your recommendations for this particular
So I
area?
would add something if I could. So one of the things, so for me, one of the things I see about so John, as you say, you know, Summerfield is hampered in a little bit of a way because we don't really have a main thoroughfare. So
Well,
in
yeah.
my opinion,
To create core.
in my opinion, Summerfield Road could be a core, and I think it would be an amazing amenity that would truly add value to anyone who owns property here. And what I would actually add to that is the homes that are along that road, as it were, to develop, and you would bring in local, you know, again, it might be me who wants to own a coffee shop on Summerfield Road, and
We may have
I
a
would use-
place for it for that.
I know. And I would use the current house. My opinion would be that we would try to, I don't know the right word, so I'm just gonna say it.
What does it look like at the end?
Well, it looks like this at the end. So at the end, you've got a district that's a business district where people went in and they used the current structure. So you're using the old homes and you're keeping them.
This isn't when you sent to me, is it?
No, I was just up there.
So it'll go blank if you pass that around.
So all the blowing are,
There's a,
So you try to use the current structures to keep the rural character of the town. And so that way, it kind of goes in line, and then you have sidewalks there.
so I think maybe you can talk about encouraging the encourage the repurposing of existing residential structures.
That's awesome.
That sounds good.
Does that sound good? You want to add that
That
into
word
this
repurpose.
this green area?
Oh, you can have this.
Now I would have.
Years ago, there was a resolution that stated that we would not make any of that commercial, that it would remain residential from Crossroads all the way to Summerfield Road. So that was years ago, that was a resolution, it wasn't.
That was
it wasn't
before the
an
comp
ordinance.
plan?
It was right in the same time,
Yeah.
right,
No time.
a little prior.
No, right, okay.
But
Carolyn, what was that?
Looks just like Milton.
years ago, our council passed a resolution because the residents of Summerfield Road requested that all of that remain residential from the crossroads down to Summerfield. And
Well,
so,
that would hamper
yeah,
encouraging commercial.
and it wouldn't encourage, but a lot of the people that
discourages,
have
yeah.
lived there, now, a lot of the older people that had those homes have died. So I don't know what that changes, if anything.
Well, the thing
Down
about
to Centerfield? Yeah, I think that's
That's what I was talking about.
That's right here.
The commitment.
it's not covered in this.
well, it could be opportunity.
No,
So
the whole road down, from the crossroads to Centerfield.
Centerfield is the road that goes
Centerfield
around the
is right
school.
here.
Right there.
Okay.
So this, the comp plan doesn't actually say anything about that
Okay.
area. We're just leaving it alone.
That's where all the main residential is,
Mhm.
right there. And then you got Shady Side, wraps around the back side.
Here's Centerfield Road right here. So what we're talking about would go from Centerfield south to Auburn. A very, very,
Well, and again, what would happen with those reviews?
does that
Yeah.
track with, I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
I'm sorry. But that's what I was gonna, I don't know if I ever got to it. I think it would be neat to add or recommend about trying to keep.
So I just
While you were
added
passing the picture out, we added that.
Okay.
Okay.
I know that.
Encourage the repurposing of existing residential structures when businesses are proposed.
Yeah, I didn't want to just encourage all residential structures to become businesses. So I wrote it that way, when businesses are proposed.
Right, yeah.
Well, you're
Try
always
to
gonna
keep the
have
house
the land
first.
use plan consistency test, so, you know, there's pieces of this that are not recommended for commercial, so I mean, that's your test when you're trying to look at this.
There is a new one, just-
I'm sorry?
Comp plan, excuse me.
Does that cover
Should've
everybody
said land
else's?
use plan, and it said there isn't one.
True.
I'm using that word interchangeably.
But that's a discussion we had that you were not privy to before, that
Right.
maybe the town needs to consider.
Yeah.
You'll be the first when I ask about for a price.
So,
Because he builds land use plans. Jesse builds land use plans. As one of the services that PTRC does, contracted land use plans.
all right, so anything else we want to add to this green section?
Carrie, as part of that discussion, does that revise the grid with minimum acreage and setbacks and stuff like that?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Does creating this overlay district alter the, or was it?
It's 90-91, it's like 5 down.
The acreage minimums, table 4.j.4, yeah, what did you say, page 91?
Yeah, 90 and 91.
90 and 91.
Not necessarily. This is an overlay district, puts additional standards onto existing zoning districts.
Right.
But you could, it's difficult, if you overlay a district that has a different lot size requirement than the underlying zoning, sort of creating another zoning district,
Well,
which you could.
the reason I raise it is that just clicking down the GIS and looking at acreage of those parcels almost all of them are underneath the minimums, and so they would not be, if I understand how it works correctly, they wouldn't be eligible.
Here we go, cohesive
There would be,
zoning.
yeah, an existing non-conforming,
What?
there'd be an existing non-conforming use, so
Oh.
continue their existing use.
Okay, so they'd be able to conform to the overlay. They'd be able to essentially.
Potentially, I mean, we'd have to look at the details of how that works, because there's language in the draft about any changes to non-conforming uses, and then therefore the new ordinance would apply, so I think you gotta be careful about what that is, and I didn't catch the whole thing, because I was talking to Gary about performance standards while you're voicing that, so.
It was just that, the minimum sizing for, a PN district.
It's too big.
Do you
It's
maybe,
too big for these old lots on Summerfield Road, this area.
are you suggesting that maybe there needs to be a different underlying zoning district that repeats those allows smaller lots like that?
Yeah, it
That's
might-
kind of one of my recommendations, is a historical business district.
Yeah, or you could call it SRFA, or you could call
Yeah.
it something.
And those, to me, in my opinion, should be more strict than the other ones, the other business districts, with stricter building requirements and standards, and then that would fall into, I'm not exactly sure how performance standards
And that-
relate, but that's the cohesive,
And
with the commercial.
That's suggested in policy 10.2, that they be stricter in base for businesses with their operating hours and their size and their market area and their outside lighting and the trees and everything. It's suggested in 10.2.
So let's just clarify for Gary's question about performance standards, or somebody may not have heard. So are we talking about signage, parking, landscaping as a performance standard, or what is that?
Oh,
Just so we can be clear when we hand this over to the planning committee, or planning board.
A performance standard, I already have business hours. A performance standard might have to do with noise, might have to do with intensity of use. I'm trying to think of a good,
Well, let's put in
Idea.
noise and like,
Traffic,
put it in there?
Yeah, maybe take that out and just put in the specifics.
Okay,
I don't know, it just might be a little bit more intentional.
sure. Business hours, noise, traffic, lighting is already in there.
So the idea is to make the main street pretty restrictive in through there, or this?
And it would because of the residential.
Because it's residential right there, right, it's gotta fit in
And
with
in
the
a lot of the small
residential.
towns, that's how they do it too, just like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
With the sidewalks, and they close at 6 o'clock, and
Yeah.
they're 6, 7.
Yeah, they do.
Unless it's a bar.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you get a little restaurant in there and they wanna do something and move in and build something. And we tell them they gotta shut it down at 8, no music
See,
and.
it would be hard to put a restaurant in there because a lot of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
don't have
septic.
repair areas for their septic
Well,
because of the way they would be built, so septic's gonna be really
And
limited
now we're
in that
getting
area.
to the realm of solving the
I
problem
always forget
versus
about water and
suggesting.
sewer in
Yeah.
summer.
Recommendations
I'm
not
just so used to
solutions.
saying building.
That sounds
Do we want to say anything
We'll
about
just
base
highlight it.
zoning that's more adequate? Do you think there's we need a different base zoning district than that's got smaller lots?
I think along what Jason was talking
Yeah, what
about in
Jason was
terms of,
talking about.
you know, right now you got 1.37 acres is the minimum for even a business or, right, I think if I'm.
I would say 60,000 square feet, yeah, so is that 1.3?
If you look at, we're looking at maybe something different than that.
Something that allows lot sizes similar to what is there now?
Yeah, I mean, it
And that-
seems to me that if you have these high minimums for these existing small lots, and people want to go and build a business there, then they trigger non-conforming, and then remember the policy where we talked, if they're not conforming, then they have to update X% of their, right? Then we get.
Yeah, it could potentially, yeah, and then you get back to, I think, what Deb was talking about earlier,
And
just
then they
how
have to put
complicated
in all this
landscape.
landscaping and all this stuff, that suddenly that's not our intended consequence, right?
All right, so we're actually, this would actually cover that if you create an overlay and or zoning district. This is additional zoning district or a separate zoning district with lot size and everything else. And the goals and things to achieve would apply to that as well.
And I'm looking at the ones, page 90 and 91, but.
Yeah, so that's really just to reflect those lot sizes that exist, right?
We can put that in there.
And I think, I mean, if you go back to the comp plan, it does talk about that, so that should be past your consistency test. Okay. Anything else? This is a lot of comments for this recommendation, so let's at least try to get
Just want to make.
what we want into here, since there are several comments.
Generally,